Well, I guess we're live. We're just kind of sitting here wondering. Anybody wants to see this later, I guess you know, you're more than welcome to come aboard. And it's always weird to me. Um, hey, Axel. Welcome aboard. Thanks for the love. So, what's going on? Yeah. Yeah. Got away from Axel. Yeah. And Axel says there's not much going on with them. I'm trying to remember, Axel. How old are you? And Axel says, huh? Listen, how old are you? And Axel says that they're 7 years old. Hmm. Well, yeah. Hmm. And Random King has come aboard and says, grab the camera for Lamar Jackson. That says hi. Yeah, so I guess you want one of these? Yeah. There you go. And hi. Yeah. So how about the rest of you? I think there's like 17 of you aboard right now. You want to enter something into the chat? And oh my gosh, suddenly it dropped down to 8. And Scott's come aboard. Says, say Cayenne. Cayenne? And Axel seconds the motion. And I think I just did, didn't I? Cayenne. And Cam's come aboard and asks, can I sing? Oh. I can harmonize. sing a cappella? Oi. No. No, I wasn't given that gift. I'm awestruck by people who can, though. Can you sing, Cam? And Cam has asked, he said, could you give us an example? Okay, let's see here. All right. And Cam says that they can't sing either. Well, I can sing maybe the first song I ever learned. And it was called Green Door by Jim Lowe. And if you really want to hear how badly I can butcher things up, if you go to YouTube Music after I'm done, you can hear Jim Lowe and his group do it and see how bad of a singer I really am. Okay? So, I'm going to take a sip of my phony coffee here. Midnight, one more night without sleeping, wandering till the morning comes creeping. Green door, what's that secret you're keeping? There's an old piano and they play it hot behind the green door. Don't know what they're doing, but they laugh a lot behind the green door. Wish they'd let me in so I could find out what's behind the green door. Not once, trying to find out what's in there. Door slams, hospitality's thin there. Wonder just what's going on in there. I saw an eyeball peeping through a smoky cloud behind the green door. When I said Joe sent me, someone laughed out loud behind the green door. All I wanna do is join the happy crowd behind the green door. Midnight, one more night without sleeping, wandering till the morning comes creeping. Green door, what's that secret you're keeping? Green door, what's that secret you're keeping? Green door. So, there you be, kids. Funny thing about the chat, it's kind of hard for them to sing over the chat, isn't it? Yeah. And Axel had typed something in and then retracted it. I didn't get a chance to read it because I was too busy focusing on singing. There's other songs that I'd like to sing. Oh, Cam says that was awesome. And way better than I could have done, he says. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're a better singer than what you realize. It's something that's cultivated, I guess. Um, yeah, we all have our gifts. We all have our gifts and our talents, but really, singing isn't one of mine. Yeah. And Cam asks, what are your gifts? Well, that's a hard question for me to answer. I mean, I kind of see myself as just kind of an empty vessel without a purpose except to serve God. And I probably don't do that real well sometimes. Actually, a lot of the time. I can say that I've received a lot of gifts from God. But I don't know if I've conveyed that many. I guess that's up to God to decide. I mean, when I start thinking about anything I've done, I start to. It's a slippery slope because then I start feeling proud and I don't. Yeah. And Wi-Fi. What happened? Depression. Ha ha ha. Fine. It's your call. I mean, you can call it depression if you want. I'm just trying to be mindful. Oh, well, invariably, you put up a live stream, you're going to get trolls. Yeah. Yep. And Cam says, we love you, man, and so does God. Well, yeah. You know, God loves you too. God loves all of us. It's hard for me sometimes because I know I'm so undeserving of it. It's humbling. And Breezy, or Brezzy, says, hey. Hi, Brezzy, how are you doing? Brezzy says that they're good, and how about you? Well, middle of the day, sunshiny out, hot, humid. We're just spending some time online here. It's good to know that you guys are all aboard, and gals. When I say guys, I mean gals too. Just don't have a lot to talk about myself today. I'd rather just be here and share a little time with all of you. Sometimes that's just the most important thing, I think. And Brazzy says, I'm eating some ice cream right now. Sounds wonderful. I'm just curious, what kind of ice, what flavor of ice cream, Brazzy? Cookies and cream. Yeah. And Cam says cookies and cream is a W flavor. Chocolate is good too. And Brezzy says FR, which probably means for real. Oh, yeah. I can remember around here, the creamery here in town, which actually specialized in producing ice cream. They had a flavor. It was called butter brickle. Oh my gosh. Oh, was it wonderful. Wonderful. There was almonds and a little bit of chocolate and caramel. Oh. And the almonds were broke up in little itty bitty pieces. And oh, it was so creamy. Oh my gosh. Of course, I don't know if either of you guys are old enough to remember Baskin Robbins. You guys remember Baskin Robbins? 32 flavors. You could usually they'd have a place in the mall, or sometimes they'd have an ice cream stand on the side of the road. All the different ice creams. Oh, and sherbets. Oh, orange sherbet, and lemon sherbet, and raspberry sherbet. And their chocolate, just their plain chocolate chip was just heavenly on a hot, hot day. I can remember when I was younger, that was always some place you could take someone special on a first date. Just something light before we had before we had coffee bars and things like that, and things got sophisticated. And there were a lot of times that even when I was just wandering around the mall, Eastland Mall in Bloomington had one, and I can remember it was up by the main entrance on the north side of the mall. And I can remember sometimes I would go to the mall in the middle of the day before I'd go to work. I'd just wander around and be quiet. And I'd admire all the different store fronts and how they were decorated and arranged. And this was before I was diagnosed as diabetic, but I would maybe once or twice a week, I'd go on up to Baskin Robbins. And I'd get a scoop of ice cream in a dish, sometimes two, and sit there and just savor it. Just savor it. So there's another gift that I've received. It's the memory of those flavors of ice cream. Yeah. Well, yeah, Cam, it's funny, you know. It's hard for me to do that because, I don't have a lot of technology here. Let me change hands for a minute. And a person can change handles as easily as most of us can, wash our hands. And they'll come back. They always do. So, as long as they want to play that game, the quickest, the easiest thing, the most expeditious way to deal with it is just simply go ahead and remove his comments. Eventually, he might get tired of it, or she might get tired of it. And of course, you never know. There's always that strong possibility that they'll come around and not be so mean-spirited. Might be a pipe dream, but we can pray for it. There's hope in that. So, my arm gets stiff. Oh. Yeah, it is what it is. It's gotten kind of quiet here. I think I'm going to let you guys stare at the ceiling for a minute. I'm going to put this down just long enough for me to rest my arm for a second. I'm sorry about that. Either that or I could put it up to a black screen. You guys can keep chatting if you want. You can just hear my voice for a few minutes. Let me see here. Oh, I hate that because it starts getting crampy. I don't like hating anything. It starts getting crampy and it hurts. Okay, so let me see here. If I do, let's do this for a second. Excuse me. I've got a lot of weakness in my left arm right now. So if I turn that. Yeah, there's a black screen. Let me see if I can give you something to look at. Just looking through here. It's funny. It doesn't give me a lot of images to choose from. Well, here's the sunset from a few days back. Let's just go ahead and upload. Yeah, let's just go ahead and look at that for a little bit. Okay. There. So we're just sitting here killing time. Or destroying it, however you want to look at it. I don't know if you guys can hear the birds singing outside, but they are. Not real loud. Sometimes I wonder what they're thinking about. What's going through their little brains when they communicate. And when I say their little brains, you got to realize that they could be a lot smarter than what we give them credit for. And JR's come aboard. Hi, JR. What's going on with you? We're just talking about nothing, pretty much. And JR says they're doing pretty good. 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 Now, I've got to ask a funny question. Because your handle reminds me of another JR, and I'm wondering if you're the same person. Because that JR was it News 43 or News 47 with JR, or JR News 47 or something like that. And he was in New Jersey. So I'm curious, are you the same one and you've just gone ahead and adapted the new handle? Well, someone's sending much love. Thank you. Yep. And JR says, yes, I am the same one. I just changed the name. Well, it's good to have that cleared up, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, name change that can lead to a lot of confusion, but yeah. Yeah, I have plenty of experience with that. Yeah. Yeah, my given name was Kurt. Yeah. Oh wait. And JR says, "How are you?" Well, I'm hanging in there. We're doing okay. Just sitting here by the screen door and looking outside and visiting with all you. So it's good. It's good. But at any rate, back to the name change thing. My given name was Kurt, and it was always hard for me because people would misspell it because there's like 9 ways to Sunday to spell Kurt. And the other thing is that when I'd get into a crowd and people would call me, oftentimes, from across a room or even at the same table, I couldn't hear it because it's just Kurt, one syllable, very short, kind of high pitched when you say it, and it would get lost in the background noise. And people thought I was stuck up, and I was to begin with, but yeah, I mean, this made it worse. And finally, after my little sister got married, and she married an attorney, and he says, if you ever want anything, let me know. And I told him, I said, yeah, I'd like to kind of look into dropping my first name and making that official, because Bruno's easier to hear, and there's only one way to spell Bruno that I'm aware of. Actually, there's more than one, but yeah. So, anyway, and JR says that they had a lot of rain the other day, and it got flooded in some parts of New Jersey. Yeah, I saw that on the news. Yeah. I guess it got really interesting up there in New York, especially if you were in the subway. Yikes. Boy, those weren't pretty pictures. And Cam asks, is Bruno your middle name? Yes. How can I put it? When I was born, my full name was Kurt Bruno Biava. And like I said, back about 1990, I went to my family and I tried to explain the situation. And they always said, well, you're always going to be Kurt to us. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm always going to be Kurt to a lot of people. But, I'm not going to change. It's just, how can I put it? I want to be able to hear people when they call my name so that I can give the attention that they deserve. So, with the blessings of my family, I legally dropped my first name. Now, of course, if you go back in records far enough, yeah, it still shows up. It's Kurt Bruno Biava. But Since 1990, officially, I've been Bruno Biava. But this has led to a little bit of confusion. Because Bruno Biava, of course, was my dad's name. So, people would kind of mix me up with my dad sometimes. But I'm not my own dad, and I'm not my dad. And JR said, keep up the great work and take good care of yourself. Well, you too, JR. You take care of yourself, and you just showing up here, that's pretty important. At least to me it is. And try and stay out of those floodwaters, okay? Yeah. And so at any rate, so it's led to some confusion. But I guess if you scratch deep enough, I'm always going to be Kurt. Somebody. I'd like to think anyway. I mean, in appearance and in voice, I might even be unrecognizable. But I've still got the same heart I was born with. I'd like to think. And that heart comes from both my mom and my dad. A lot from my mom. It's funny, I just had the goofiest thought. My mother's name was Alberta, like the province in Canada. I probably could have avoided a great deal of strife if instead of just dropping my first name, if I had changed my name to Albert. That would have been different. I know that Mom told me many times, she said, if I would have had my way when you were named, you would have been named Paul. Oi! Oh, well, Paul would have been just as bad as Kurt to hear. And even Albert, that can be shortened down to Al or Bert. And I probably would have missed those things. But Bruno, you could say Brew, and of course you're not going to hear that. Next thing you know, somebody's setting a beer at your table, but it won't be me, and then you end up having to pay for it. But yeah, Bruno has a ring to it. It's a pretty special name. Pretty special name. Yeah. So that's another one of the great gifts I received. And JR's just put up that they have YouTube videos on their channel. We might have to check those out. Might have to do that. So what kind of YouTube videos you got up there, JR? And JR is just, just trying to make clear that his channel is called JR Weather. That's capital J, capital R, capital W, lowercase EATHER. And JR's just chimed in, only weather and some accidents. Yeah. Oh, which means you're a bit of a journalist and a reporter then. Yeah, you probably see a lot more accidents where you are than where I am. I mean, we see a lot of close calls around here, but fortunately, our population density probably isn't but a fraction of where you are in New Jersey. And the more people you got in closer quarters, the more likely they are to rub elbows or bump into each other. And as far as weather is concerned, of course, you're closer to the Atlantic Ocean, far closer. Your weather's influenced by a lot of different things than what we have around here. Our weather around here, I'd say, would be best described as being, 85% boring as all get out, and 15% absolutely terrifying sometimes. At least it is to me. And JR says, I have another channel and it's called Trucking JR. Oh, okay. So I'm trying to remember, are you a professional driver, JR? Or are you just do you just go out and okay, JR's cleared this up a little bit. He says, I meant it is called Trucking with JR. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So back to my question, JR, are you a trucker? I mean, do you drive professionally or do you just observe? Not that there's anything wrong with observing, mind you. Observing can be fascinating. And JR said, it's only pictures of trucks. Well, yeah. So that's good too. Because, that gives, how can I put it? It gives, well, how can I, okay, let me see if I can try to explain this. All right. In our work, depending on what career path you choose, you can be an artist. And people who make the profession of driving, which I once did, can make art of their work. And owner-operators of vehicles have tremendous license in this, meaning that they can choose to be as either humble in their presentation of their vehicle or inspired in the presentation of their vehicle as they choose to be. Now, all this has to be balanced, of course, with the task at hand, which is the conveyance of people and material between places. But myself, I can remember, not that long ago, even after, up until a year ago even, when I'd get out and about, that we would see, trucks out on the road. And if they were owner operated, they definitely reflected the character of the owner operator. Now, if they were company owned trucks, they would reflect the image of the company. And some of those could be interesting too. Yeah, you could learn a lot about the mindset, the corporate mindset of a trucking company by how its trucks presented the image of the company. Yeah. It's kind of like when you put on clothes, If you put on certain clothes, they could fit perfectly, but you'll look at yourself in the mirror and it's like, this just doesn't work. And then you'd put on other clothes and it's like, okay, I'm comfortable in this. And, myself, oh, wait, JR's just chimed in. Says, but I can't wait to learn how to drive a truck in the future someday. Yeah. Oh, I hope you get the opportunity. I really do. Oh, how I pray you get that opportunity, JR. Yeah. So we were talking about clothes for a second, but when I don't know, probably about the time I turned, 52, I started to settle in to finally, after all these years, having the clothes that felt right. And for about 10 years, just a mere 10 years of my life, I was able to go out and my clothes kind of reflected who I was. They weren't camouflage. It wasn't like I was trying to blend in with anybody else. It was who I was on the inside. who I always was on the inside. And JR asked, do you like the winter? Yeah, I like all the seasons. I admit that winter's a little more painful than it used to be because I'm old and getting creaky. Sometimes it can be a bit challenging, very challenging. But there's something about waking up in the middle of the night after the snow has fallen and gazing out at it and seeing the beautiful white that covers everything. It makes the world seem so pure. And oh, the sunrises and sunsets. And I can remember back when I was a courier and when I drove motor coach and all that. Sometimes to drive on a moonlit night when it was just so beautifully clear. And I'd look across the prairies and see all that white. And the way the light would be reflected off of it. It looked just like the ocean to me. It reminded me so much of home. And JR says, is that sunrise or sunset? And what time is it over there? Because I see the sky orange. Oh, JR, we're looking at an image that I caught a few days ago of sunset. So no, that is not what the sky looks like right now here. Yeah, and where I am right now, it's about 1338 Central Daylight Time, which means it's approximately 1838 Universal Time Coordinated. And JR says, okay, gotcha. There we go. There we go. Yeah. I just put that image up because my left arm gets kind of crampy and it's kind of weak right now. And it's kind of hard for me to hold the camera up. And every once in a while I'll take that sip of phony coffee that I drink. I mean, I can hold the phone okay. It's just that the grip in my left hand is getting weaker. So let me go ahead and bring this back to where you can see me. There we go. Yeah. So now you can see what it really looks like outside. If I turn the camera like that, you can open the door. Let me see if I can do that without dropping the phone. Great. It shows the wrong angle. All right. Here. Let me do this. Ah! No! Whoops. Almost dropped the phone. Ah! Come back here. Okay. Trying to do this without letting all the hot air in and all the cool air out. Okay. Bear with me. There. Now, hopefully I just didn't smear my fingers across the front-facing camera. Okay. All right. Boy, I can barely hold that anymore. But there. Now you can see. There. Now you can see what it looks like outside. Okay. Just a nice, relatively clear, hot, humid Southern Illinois July afternoon. Typical. So there you go. Okay. Let me turn this back around. There. Much better now. In JR's remark here, over here in New Jersey, a car slammed into a semi-truck and I recorded it. And I saw it happen on my window. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Stuff can happen right outside your front window. Yep. Oi. Well, kids, I've been on here for 57 minutes and coming up on 25 seconds. I'd like to keep going, but I gotta tell you, this left arm of mine, yeah, it's kind of scary, but it is what it is. Happens when you get old. Yeah. So, I suppose we ought to get ready to tie things up. And funny thing is, JR's just typed in, have a great, enjoy your day and go relax. JR, this is what I do to relax. You guys help me a lot. It's really harder for me to shut this down than what you think. I mean, if I could, I'd do this all the time. Because you guys contribute so much to my day. You really do. Yep. And really, this channel is about you more than it's about me. I mean, I think it was Cam earlier that asked what my gifts are. Well, another one of the great gifts I receive are your comments and your remarks in the chat. They really are great gifts. Means a lot. Well, I guess it's about that time. So, let's go ahead and tie this thing up. Remember to be kind and respectful, and appreciative of all that you have and all that's about you. I'll try to do the same. Hold on to every good moment with those about you who love you and cherish you, and love and cherish you. Have a little fun. Remember that time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana. And until next time, as always, Good luck and Godspeed. And we'll see you around town.